JF Stretford, Paddock, this is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in the studio, so you know what to do. It's live. Get involved in the chat and the comments, and we'll be covering all the latest Manchester United news that is doing the rounds this morning. So we're going to be talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, of course. It's a bit of a drama now, innit? What's happening with old CR7, as he likes to be called. We'll also be talking about Frenkie de Jong, because where would we be without a Frenkie de Jong story? And we'll be looking at Tom Huddlestone joining the club. Don't worry, he's not our new DM. He's joining the coaching staff, stroke under-21s team, I think, if I'm getting that one right. We'll get into that as well. And Eric Bailly, what's going to happen with the cult hero that is Eric Bailly? We'll be getting into that. So make sure you are getting involved in the channel and hitting that like button as well. We want to see you hitting that like button. Larson Mugabe says, morning routine beginning. Pretty cold in Botswana, Africa. Let's go. Botswana. Nice. Jacob OC says, morning, everyone. The Imston Strangler says, up the Paddock. He also says it's lashing down in Manchester. It was raining last night in Manchester, but it was hot. I've been having this discussion in the office. I was very, very hot. Adam Nicholas says, morning, Jay. Morning to you too. Should we get into the Ronaldo thing? Because it is a thing, isn't it? There's all this sort of discussion going on about whether Ronnie wants to stay, whether he wants to go, whether he shouldn't have left the ground early after the game against Rayo Vallecano, whatever you call him. Because he left before full time. People going, oh, that wasn't great. He should have stayed and watched the rest of the game. Others saying it doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of a soap opera, innit? I've also seen people clipping up the interaction between Erik ten Hag and Cristiano Ronaldo on the touchline for the game on Sunday, saying this shows that he's not happy, this shows there's a clash, all this sort of stuff. The latest sort of update we've had is from James Ducker in The Telegraph, who is a reliable journalist in my opinion. And he says he's done a piece on Tom Huddlestone, which I'll get to a bit later. But also in there is the signs point increasingly to Ronaldo being forced to stay at United next season, with the club refusing to back down from their insistence that he's not for sale. So it looks like, regardless of whether he wants to leave or not, he isn't going anywhere. Part of the problem for this seems to be the lack of concrete offers that he's had. I think when Ronaldo said he wanted to go, or there was rumours and stories coming out that he wanted to leave, there's quite a few of us, myself included, thought, oh, right, he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's going to get offers because of who he is. And also the fact that last season he scored, was it 18 Premier League goals or something? Or you can't remember the exact figure. But he scored quite a decent return for a team that struggled for much of the season. So it's not like he's a spent force. He's still going to get you goals. And then there's the other part of it in the sense that he's one of the biggest people, not just footballers, but people on the planet in terms of revenue and marketability and all that stuff, if you care about that, which a lot of clubs do. So I thought because of all those things, people will be looking at him. There'll be a lot of clubs that think, let's get Ronaldo. But it seems there's a downside to it as well. The downside is you probably have to build your team almost around him. He becomes the main man. His wages, even if he takes a pay cut, are quite high. And it was a little bit late in the day. It's not too late in the day for it to happen, obviously. The transfer window was still open. But a lot of clubs had already done their striker business or had settled on who they wanted to lead their attack. So that gave him a bit of a disadvantage in terms of moving on. There were rumours that Chelsea were in for him. There were rumours that Atletico Madrid were in for him. Also Bayern Munich and I think Napoli as well. So there were a few clubs, but I don't know how serious all these offers were. United, in the meantime, digging their heels in. I was on the tour pre-season over in the Far East in Australia. Erik ten Hag getting asked about it, stuck to his original statement, which was, I've spoken to Cristiano and there's, our position hasn't changed. He told me he wanted to stay, our position hasn't changed. Since then, it's become more evident that Ronaldo does want to go, but the club's position hasn't changed. The club are still saying he's not for sale, he's not going anywhere. So because of that, he sort of stuck a little bit. Now, I don't like to get into all these amateur body language analysis type things, because I don't think you can really guess what's going on. You don't know, do you? And players can sometimes look like they're arguing or look like they're happy and actually they're okay. It didn't look that engaged on Sunday, but it's his first game back for a little while, so you can't look too much into it. People were clipping up like him passing the ball back and not really going forward, but again, it's his first game for a little while. He's just getting some touches maybe. I don't know. I think you're going to find out once the Brighton game this weekend starts. We'll know, well, even before that, is he in the starting 11? And what's his, performance like? The sad thing about all this is, well, there's lots of sad things about it, but you've got a new manager who's got a lot to deal with already. So far in the transfer window, it's been, for me, a bit underwhelming. And I like Christian Eriksen, I like Lisandro Martinez, and I think Tyrell Malacia has done very well. But, we're what, 4 or 5 days, or whatever it is, away from our first game. I thought we'd have done more business. Now, I'm going to get to De Jong in a minute because it's not done yet. And there could be a De Jong signing, which is a big boost. But I feel we're weaker now than we were going into last season. We've lost Juan Mata, Jesse Lingard. You might go, okay, how many games do they play? Nemanja Matic, our only out-and-out DM, has gone. Paul Pogba, again, a very divisive figure, but a big player, a player who usually starts for Manchester United when he was fit. So you've lost all those players. Plus Edinson Cavani, an attacking option. Last season, I lost my rag with him. I couldn't add enough of him. But that is a striker you're taking out of the club, and you're not bringing anyone in. So we're weaker, and also the Mason Greenwood situation as well, of course. You took him out of the equation. So we are weaker this season than we were last season, and look at where we finished last season. He's just got a lot to deal with. I think we need more transfers. We've got the Ronaldo situation he's got to deal with. There's also players that are probably looking to move on as well, other than Ronaldo. So, yeah, it just feels a little bit like Erik ten Hag has got this headache, if you can call it that, and this is part of it. We'll have to wait and see what happens. According to Ducker in the Telegraph, Ronaldo is being forced to stay. There may be a deal being made where at the 11th hour it just becomes apparent that this isn't going to work out and they let him move on. So we'll have to wait and see. But at the minute, it looks like Cristiano Ronaldo is staying, but these things change almost by the hour. So we'll have to wait and see. He did an Instagram post, didn't he, about the return of the king and good to be back and all that sort of stuff. But we'll wait and see if that's going to remain the case. I mean, again, I don't think he was sat there typing that post out. It's probably his team in it. So, yeah, just a bit of a frustrating one at the minute. Talking of players who could be on their way out, Eric Bailly. Now, Eric Bailly has been linked with a few clubs. He's been linked with Roma. He's also been linked with Sevilla, and it looks like Sevilla are going to win his signature. There's a story doing the rounds. I've got it here in the Mail. I think it's in a few other papers as well. It says Eric Bailly is set to reject a reunion with Mourinho at Roma as he holds out for a summer switch to Sevilla after falling out of favour at Manchester United. It just goes to say that Bailly's seen his stock fall even further at United this summer. The thing is with Bailly, he plays well, I think, when he plays. Against the Scousers in Thailand, he was fantastic. He was probably, other than Martial, probably our best player. I thought he carried that ball away on that run. He was everywhere. He was just blocking shots. He was all over the gaff in a good way. But you can't rely on him. He gets injured a lot. It took him, 4.5, 5 seasons to get to 100 games for Manchester United. That's not great going that. It's not his ability that's the question. It's his injury record. And I just don't feel you can say, okay, Eric Bailly's my starting centre-back if every 4 or 5 games he's injured. I remember a couple of seasons ago when we were going for the title, I think was it the Villa game where he was phenomenal. Everyone was hugging him after the game. And I remember being asked about it, and I said, if United have got any chance of winning this title, we need certain players to stay fit. And Eric Bailly on current form is one of them. Next week, he gets injured. He's out for 2 months. So, yeah, I like Bailly. He's a very popular guy. He's a bit of a cult hero. He's compilation clips. You see that out of context Eric Bailly. It's always a good laugh, but you need him to be fitter. He's just not fit. Santa Notch says, not surprised he's rejecting Jose. They fell out at United. Yep, not really a big, massive shock, that one. Sevilla as well, decent club. Anthony Martial went there last season. Didn't really work out for him, but I think, hopefully... for Eric Bailly, because I do wish him well. He can have a better spell of it there. It says, Sevilla now in talks for the defender, with Roma and AC Milan having made inquiries for the player in the last few days. I mean, he's 28 years old, very talented defender. He's worth a punt. He's definitely worth a punt for someone. The only question about is the fact he's injured quite a lot. I mean, looking here at his appearance record for Manchester United. If we just do the Premier League, 25 appearances in his first season, that's okay, but he's still missing 13 games. 13 appearances in his next season, 12 in his next one, 4 in the one after that, 12 in the one after that, and 4 last season. So you can't hang your hat on him, can you? I know some of those were not just him being injured, some of them were him being dropped. I thought the particular low point was at Anfield, where Rangnick went with Phil Jones, I think, didn't he, when Eric Bailly was available, which was a bit of a strange move, in my opinion. I don't think it particularly worked out. But yeah, Eric Bailly looks like he'll be on his way, and I wish him well. It's just a shame that he was, made of glass, really. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's have a look what everyone's saying. Bob Holdick says, let's not get sentimental about these departures. Jones, Bailly, Wan-Bissaka, Tellez, they can all go. Path says, Jay, how many more players do you think we need in order to compete for the title? Very good question. I would say, I don't buy into this idea that it's 10. I don't. I think what you need is a mixture of players that have been underperforming to get back to the levels they're capable of. Now, we've seen a little bit of that in pre-season, the likes of Maguire, Rashford, Martial, Sancho even, performing at levels where you go, that's more like it. If those players can step up and keep that up, then I don't think you need a massive overhaul. You do need, at least for me, 2 more midfielders. I think you do. And I think you need more attacking options. Possibly a right back as well. So, what, maybe four players? We'll have to wait and see anyway what happens with that one. That's just my opinion. It's not based on any facts other than my just thoughts on it. And again, a lot depends on how well some of the players that have underperformed do. And also, as well, whether some of these youngsters are ready for a bit of first team action. I think we've got a lot of players who are 2 or 3 seasons away from being top tier. And I look at it and I think, some of these youngsters, Garnacho already looks like he's almost there. Zidane Iqbal looks like he's almost there. Charlie Savage, I think in a couple of years, Charlie Manil's going to be a big star. So there's players there that you look at and you go, okay, maybe they're 1-2 seasons away from making noises in the first team. So that could help you, because I don't think we're going to challenge for the title this season, but maybe next season 1 or 2 of these players become part of the first team and play a part in, hopefully, pushing towards that title. I don't buy into this idea it's going to take us, 6 or 7 years to challenge for the title. I think we can do it sooner than that. A lot depends on Erik ten Hag, of course, and how good he is, but I think he's a very talented manager, and we just need to back him a bit better in the transfer market, because so far, Eriksen's a good signing, Martinez is a good signing, Lassy's a good signing, but we need a bit more. One of those players could be Frenkie de Jong. Now, I'm sure you've probably never heard of this kid, but apparently he plays for Barcelona. He used to be at Ajax, I think. I think he's a midfielder, and I believe Manchester United have been showing some sort of interest in him. I know it's, this will come as a shock to you because they've kept it under the radar. Yeah, the latest reports are that there could be a bit of a breakthrough. This is in the Mirror. So this is this morning. And this says, Barcelona confirm Frenkie de Jong transfer deadline as Man United finally make breakthrough. United have been chasing Barcelona midfielder de Jong's signature all summer and have finally made a breakthrough ahead of the new Premier League season. Goes on to say, Barcelona president Joan Laporta, Laporta, I'm great at pronunciations, I'm fantastic, has confirmed they need to register their new signings by August the 13th, giving United a boost in their pursuit of Frenkie de Jong. The Red Devils have made a breakthrough in their, just says in their of, I think that should say in their chase of or pursuit of, or whatever, of the 25-year-old midfielder. After months of chasing his signature, the Dutchman is one of Erik ten Hag's primary transfer targets after coaching him during the successful 4.5-year spell at Ajax. Now, it goes on to say Barcelona have made a number of signings this summer, including Lewandowski, Rafinha and Koundé, but have not registered all them ahead of the new seasons for financial reasons. As per La Liga rules, they must free up their budget first before they can do so. Goes on to say there, de Jong is arguably Laporta's best chance of doing so. Barcelona manager Xavi already has several central midfielders at his disposal, such as Gavi, Pedri, Frank Kessie and Sergio Busquets, and a sale would see one of their highest earners leave the Camp Nou. So, the deadline's in place. They want him off the wages. We want him. Come on. We know it's this £70 million elephant in the room, innit? They owe him deferred wages. They're not paying them. He wants them. He doesn't want to walk away from them. I get it. Why should it? Especially when they've got money to go out and buy, Lewandowski and Rafinha and all these other players. So, yes, there's a breakthrough in terms of Manchester United know a deadline and have got this agreement with the player and the club and all this stuff. But until he agrees, until he says, I'm either going to walk away from that, or if Barcelona pay him the money they owe him, then this could rumble on right to the very death. It really could. A few people in the comments saying, BMW Racing saying, is de Jong for Chelsea? Alex Bay says, Chelsea can have him for me. We should get Neves and Tielemans. Spamalina says we should just walk away and come back for him in January. I would rather see him here in this summer, this transfer window, rather than January. I always worry about going for players in January, to be honest with you. I'd rather see him come eventually than not come at all. But also that means you've got another, 5 or 6 months without him, and with that midfield that has question marks around it. I don't know, man. It is one of those where it's dragged on a little bit. I wish it was sorted, but it isn't. And we'll have to wait and see whether this is the breakthrough. We all hope it is, because this has just been a complete saga. Hit that like button. Over 2,300 of you watching, only 228 likes. Let's get to 500 likes. Hit the like button. Come on, you people. You know what to do. You might not like the fact that the Frenkie de Jong transfer isn't done yet, but you can like the video. We appreciate your support. And make sure as well you are subscribing to the channel. Can we put a link in the chat for subscribe? We'll put a little link in the chat, a subscribe link. And then we'll ask you to subscribe to the channel, because we've got over 650,000 subscribers now. So there should be a link in the chat in a minute. If you click on that link, you can subscribe to the channel, because we will keep you updated with everything that goes on, whether that is Frenkie de Jong or anything else. Scrappy Doo says there's a subscribe button underneath the video, Jay. Yeah, you can hit that subscribe button, or you can go in the chat and click on the link as well. There's, the world's your oyster there. Should we move on? Let's talk about Tom Huddlestone. I didn't think I was going to be saying that this morning. Tom Huddlestone has been linked with Manchester United, not as a signing, not as the answer to our midfield problems, but he's been appointed an under-21 player coach. This is after former Blackburn striker Benny McCarthy joined Eric Ten Hag's coaching staff at the weekend. So we've now got Tom Huddlestone, 35-year-old, been at Hull, so he's coming in as a player coach for the under-21 side. Makes a lot of sense, to be honest with you. He's got a lot of experience. I've got no qualms with someone who knows the game, has done well in the game. Obviously, to a certain level, he wasn't like the top tier of players, but I think he played for England and did really well, so he wasn't like far off it. Coming in as a coach alongside you've got Benny McCarthy as well, who came in. Looks like we're jazzing up the coaching staff a little bit. Yeah. Makes sense. I'm not going to lose too much sleep or get too excited about it. It just seems like a decent sort of decision to make. And yeah, the under-21s is obviously an important part of Manchester United. We need to make sure we look after our younger players. He's going to be part of that. I think he can play as well as an overage player. You're allowed a few of them. He's one of them, and he's a coach as well. So yeah, all good really. I don't think there's too much there. When I saw it at first, I saw the tweet went out, said Tom Huddlestone joins Manchester United. I thought, that's a joke. Is that who we've gone for instead of Frenkie de Jong? That's proper Glazeronomics, that, ain't it? We can't get Frenkie de Jong, so we'll bring in Tom Huddlestone instead. No, I was losing my mind for nothing. It's not that. It's part of the coaching staff. So, makes a lot of sense. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the comments. We've got some more videos coming up later on. We're going to have a debate about Cristiano Ronaldo, because do you want him to stay? Do you want him to go? What do you think should happen? So we'll have a little bit of a chat about that one as well. We're also going to have loads of videos coming up, during the week, including transfer videos, including Premier League prediction videos, including a preview of the Brighton game. We're going to have you covered on all fronts when it comes to Manchester United Football Club. So make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. 376 likes. We can do better than that. Hit that like button. I've been Jay Motty. This has been the Paper Talk from the studio here in Manchester. Thanks for watching.